Hello everyone, welcome to Gardening TLC. I am Michelle, welcome to my garden. Today we are going to work on a design for this back area. It's a garden that has some shade, it has some sun, and it has a lot of established plants in it. So how do you design in an area like that, especially when you want to keep a lot of the things that you already have? So we're going to do that today. We'll break it down into sections. Come along with me and maybe this will help you with some ideas. Or if you're stuck, what do I do to finish a garden bed so that it's complete? Because that's definitely what I want to get done back here today. There are definitely things about this garden bed that I love, but there are things about this garden bed that I'm not in love with. And there's things in this garden bed that are in the wrong place. For me, when I started this garden bed, there was no design. I just started putting stuff in it and I didn't really give it a lot of thought. I just thought it would all fall together. And sometimes it does, but in this case, it didn't, because this is a unique bed. On this end of the bed, we have shade. On the other end of the bed, we have shade. And then right in the middle, we have sun. We also have a slope, and so we have the bed coming down this way, and you view it from the outside of the bed if you're walking around the outside of the bed, or you view it from the deck, which is where we view it the most. So when you layer this, you have to kind of be careful about how you layer it so that you can see it from both directions. That is the part that I've probably been struggling with the most. Now, there were things that I had like extra from a job or extra from another project that I did, and I plopped some things in this garden bed that aren't doing so well. And there's things that I put in this garden bed that actually need to be moved around. And there's things that I put in this garden bed that I love and they're exactly in the right place. So when I do a design like this, the first thing I do is I kind of just stand back and look at it. What do I like? What don't I like? So as we talk about this and we do the design, I'm going to break it up into sections, and we're going to do this little section right here in the shade first, and I'm going to give you my thoughts of what I'm thinking about. Then we'll do the design. This part of the bed is in shade. Now, as you get closer to the top of the slope, up where the deck is, there's more sun up there and less sun down here as the shade of the tree gets pushed over on top of things. Now, this bed here, when I look at this section, I want to look at this and I want to go, do I have winter interest? When I look at this area right here, the only winter interest that I have in here is this little bush right there. And then I have the, the raw branches of these viburnums over here along the edge. Other than that, there is no winter interest whatsoever in this area. Now, this is a shady area, so there's not a lot of shrubs that I can grow in the shade that are going to be able to handle being evergreen and then in the shade, besides a yew, a boxwood, or a hemlock. I don't want a yew because I don't want to go, come here, dear, come to my garden and help yourself, because they really like yews. I'm not a big fan of yews, so I'm probably not going to put any of those in. Other ones that I could put in would be boxwoods, but right now, based on where I've got everything, I don't know that boxwoods work outside of plopping them in different places. So I might have to think about what will be the structure of maybe some other shrubs that I put in here. The next thing I want to look at is, what color scheme do I have going on in here? Do I have my 4 colors? Do I have red, green, blue, and yellow? And when I look at this, I have blue. My blue are these Crossa Regal, and thank you, Kim, for helping me identify those. That's what these are here. They're a transplant, and see, they kind of grow more upright versus flopping up on the ground. So I love the blue of those. And I took the Miss Americas that I originally had planted back on the back side behind this viburnum. I moved them to the front side, so I brought in a little bit of that brighter, lighter color to break up some of the blue and the green. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, do I have all 4 of my colors? Well, I definitely have green. I do have blue. I do have my yellow because I have my chartreuse over here with the Hakanakloa grass. And then I'm looking for purple, and I'm like, do I really have any purple? Well, I do have some purple foliage right here, which signifies my red. I also have some of that going on with my Japanese painted ferns right here. Aren't those gorgeous? Those are so healthy. They look so good. I love those there. I have another blue hosta here along with some white edged hostas. And then if you peek right up through here, you can see my cherry cola heucheras in there. And I moved some heucheras and I just plopped 3 things right here. I don't think I'm going to leave them there, but I had to get them in the ground someplace after I moved them, so I just threw them there. See, and that's what happens. You just throw things in the garden and then it's like, that doesn't work. And then if we come up the corner, you can see here, I do have 3 Mohican viburnums that I just pruned out the bottom branches so that you could see through. See, I like that you can see through the screen and see a little bit of those heucheras up there. They're only 3 years old, so they don't have a lot of growth yet. And they'll grow fairly slow because they're in so much shade. But I put them here to create a screen from the road. All right, I did put the stilbies underneath one section over here, and I do like those, and I love the salmon impatiens that we planted down the embankment. So this is where you kind of got to stand back and look at it, and I look at it from a couple different directions, and what am I missing? So I need some winter interest, I need some flowers, and I need, I think, more purple or pink or something. I do not think it's going to take a whole lot to button up this corner of the bed. There's a few things missing and I need to move a couple things around. So I think it'll be pretty easy. What I do want to talk about first, though, is the software that I use to create the designs. I get asked the question every time I pull it out and do a design, so I thought I'd tell you about it in the video. I use a software called Pro Landscapes. It's a professional software. I bought it like 10 years ago. I think I paid maybe $800 for it 10 years ago. Today, it's right around $1,500. So it's professional software. It's probably not something that a homeowner would use, but if you're a landscaper, I would highly recommend it. The very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this shrub. Now, this is a Russian cypress. I don't think I've talked about this one before because for me, sometimes I can get these to grow and sometimes I can't. They really want good draining soil. Doesn't mean they won't grow in clay. They just have to drain well. Now, sometimes these are called Russian arbovitas as well. They do grow in zone 3 through 7, but they absolutely hate humidity. So they do better in the cool climates of Russia, Siberia. So sometimes I can get these to go and sometimes I can't. So I'm taking a risk if I pick it up and I transplant it, but I think it's going to be well suited and better positioned if I move it to the bottom of the embankment. Only gets 12 to 18 inches high. It can get up to 12 feet wide. So that's a big boy. I don't think it will get that big. It has been in the bed for about 4 years. It hasn't grown very much at all. So I don't anticipate it getting 12 feet long. Also, it's deer resistant. I also took the liberty of leaving the Miss America hostas. I really think that they're the right hosta down there. They really brighten up the area. I'm leaving those there. I am not going to add an evergreen down in this corner because I think if I try to put one in now, besides moving the Russian cypress, I'm just going to be plopping it into the ground and I don't think it's going to look good. So I've decided that I want to add some structure and some form. I'm going to do that by using an Invincible. This is the Invincible Spirit 2. It's from Proven Winners. It grows 4x4, zone 3 through 8. And what I'll get is pink flowers, but I'll also have those flowers on there once it starts blooming through the whole rest of the summer. And then if I leave the flowers up and the shrub up through the winter, I'll have that structure in the garden as well. I said I needed purple, so I'm putting purple heuchera in the bed. I have really good luck with the grape expectations coming back every year. Now, for me, I don't cut my heucheras back. I let them be all winter long, and I just clean them off in the spring. Now, if we have a really hard winter, they'll die back all by themselves. But if they don't, I'm just a little bit further ahead in the spring. I think that this is going to be great down here. And what's really cool is at the top of the deck, you can still see these peeking through. So at the end, you'll see the design from a view from the top of the deck as well. But I love the purple in here on either side of that Russian sage. They tuck right in, and I think they're the perfect shade. They're not in your face, but they're a more vibrant purple than, say, a plum pudding. So I really like them. Zone 4 through 9, 12 inches high, 18 inches wide. Okay, now you guys get a choice, and you guys are going to decide what I put in the bed. So I have decided in the midst of that Hakanakloa grass, I need something. So I'm either going to put this blue gazing ball in here or this cute little girl who's made out of concrete with the basket. There's a little rabbit, and I can plant up that little pot. Pros and cons. Well, the little girl can stay out there all the time, even in the winter. The gazing ball has to be put up every single year, and it's breakable. So if we have a big windstorm, I have to go get it, bring it inside. The little girl, she just sits there. So pros and cons of both. I like both. Which one do you like? Vote down below. Let me know which one I'm actually going to put in the bed. Oh, and the little girl, you only see her if you're walking around the back side of the bed, and you'll see the back side of her if you're up on the deck. All right, we're going to give you a side view as well. If I'm coming down the embankment, this is what we would view. So let's plug everything into place and then talk about what we're going to put in those little wall cutouts as it comes down the hill. In the first section of the tiered wall that comes off of the deck, all the way over in the shaded area, I want to put ligularas. I think these are going to be so awesome there, and the big, bold, beautiful texture. Oh, I can't wait to put these in. They are bog plants, but I'm going to show you how you can put a bog plant in and keep it watered without a drip line. The Ligulara that I want to use is called Britt Marie Crawford. Now, it grows in zone 4 through 9, and it's deer resistant. Now, this is actually a bog plant, and when we put it in, I'll show you how you can create a boggy area in your yard if this is something that you want to grow without a drip line. So look at those beautiful leaves on there. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? I'm going to read the description. The Britt Marie Crawford has huge, glossy maroon foliage that remains dark for most of the season. It has a wonderful yellow-orange daisy-like flower on tall spikes. I think this is great. It's going to grow in zone 4 through 9, if I didn't already say that, about 3 feet high and about 2 feet wide. I'm going to plant one on either side of the hosta. I'm going to leave the green hosta in place, which I'm almost positive is a royal standard, and I'll move the heucheras out that I kind of plopped there at the end of the bed, and I have a home for those, and this will be fabulous. I am in love. I am in love with the Surefire begonias from Proven Winners. They are drought tolerant. They don't take a lot of water. They're not fussy. The bugs leave them alone. I don't have to fertilize them. I love them, and they're perfect in this area. So I've tried both the pink and the white. This year I only planted a few, but next year I am definitely going to go in these little cutouts with begonias. And whether I choose pink or I choose white, one of them's going in there because I love them. And I think they'll look good. Okay, last view down the embankment. If we're sitting up on the deck, this is what we'll see. Do you love it? Well, it doesn't matter because I love it. I love the Ligulara. I love the little begonias that we're going to put in. I love the hydrangeas. I like the little heucheras that are peeking out. I like that the Miss Americas are going to get bigger. And I like that it fills in the corner and it looks good from all 3 directions. All right, now that we've buttoned up what we're going to do over in that section, let's take a look at this section here. This is my middle section that gets all the sun. Now over here, there are things that I have in this bed that I love. I like where they are. There are things in this bed that I like, but I think I need to move them to a different place. And then I think that there's just some things that I plopped in here that need to go all together. So one of the things that I do want to do though, and I did take paint, and I do want to have a little path that goes through here. And I want to just line this with those little boulders and just create a path in here that looks like a path, and then just have the mulch in the center of it so you know where it is that you're walking. All right, as I stand back, one of the things, again, I'm looking for are my evergreens. And look, there aren't any. The only thing that really has any structure in here whatsoever in the winter is my little obelisk here. And then this Bobo hydrangea will still have its flowers on it at the end of the season. But that's it. I don't cut the roses back, but they don't really add anything to the garden. Now I do have this stump right here, and I am on the hunt for a big iron pot that I want to secure to the top of that I can plant out. Now, one of the things when I'm looking at this bed that I'm looking for is, what do I want to do on the bottom to button it up? I actually like everything at the top. I don't think I'm going to change anything. I like the Nepeta that's up here. We cut that back. There is salvia next to it over here. I like that. And I do like, this was a suggestion from one of you guys, that we put the false sunflower or the Heliopsis in here. Now these are first year plants, so they have to still bulk up. And then I planted the blue globe thistle throughout it. So this is all gonna fill in and bulk out. I really like this look here, so I can't wait to see what that looks like next year. I like the alliums. I think they're in the perfect spot. But as I back up and I start looking at the bed, I look at this big patch of grass here. Now, this is a Hamlin grass. It is misplaced. It needs to be moved. I like the grass, but I don't think it should go there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move it someplace else in the bed. So as I look at this and I go, all right, what am I missing? Again, it's winter interest. It's purple foliage. Even though when I get the new foliage on the rose bushes, it does give me that purple kind of hue. I really do need something that's purple in here, and I need some evergreens. So let's go do a design. Once I pull all the items out of the bed that really are misplaced and just don't belong, it really does open up a lot of options for me to put the things in the bed that are missing. Purple, blue, evergreen. That's what's missing. I also need a little bit of height. Now, we talked about getting that boulevard tree from Gertie's nursery when I was there. I have since decided not to do that. My whole goal is to create less maintenance in my garden. And I think by planting that, a lot of people pointed out, do you want the maintenance? And you know what? I don't. I'm still going to put a blue evergreen in. I just think I'm going to use a weeping blue spruce instead, which requires zero maintenance. And that will fit the ticket for me and fill the blue element that I need in the bed. I think this is it. I really like what I've done with the area. I like the weeping Norway spruce, and as long as I can find a blue one, and I'll wait if I have to until I can find a blue one, that's what I want to put in the bed. I also love the arborvitaes that I put in, and those are the green globes that you see throughout the bed. So you'll see 5 right here, but there's actually a couple on the other side as well. They're really going to add a lot of winter interest for me. And these are the Linsville arborvitaes. So they stay really low to the ground and they have a really nice soft foliage with a really short needle. I've grown them before. I've had good luck with them and I really like them. The other thing I'm going to add is a purple. And so you can see here, I'm going to pull that pink knockout rose. I'm going to put in a woodgillia and I'm going to use the smaller version of Midnight Wine. So I have that purple foliage and then I'll get those pretty fuchsia flowers in the spring. It's a repeat bloomer. It doesn't get very big and I think it fills that spot just perfectly. Now, if you look all the way over by those pink hydrangeas that I put in, I put a white one in as well. This is actually a rescue hydrangea that I'm putting in. It's an incredible, and I think it'll be perfect back there. It'll add some more structure in the winter, and I love the big white balls that you get on there. It's a smooth hydrangea, and I think it's going to be great back there. I moved the grass forward. I'm not wasting it, but I pulled all that extra stuff out that just didn't have any place in the bed and got rid of it. So all in all, I really didn't add a whole lot to the bed. I restructured it a little bit, added blue, added purple, and added some evergreens. Here is a view from the top. Don't forget, I still got to find my big bowl that I want to put on the stump. There is a path that runs through this. And don't forget to weigh in and vote below. Am I doing the gazing ball or am I doing the little girl? I need to know which statue to put in the garden because I'm going to try and find everything for this in the next couple weeks and get this in. I want to try and shoot for the middle of August to be done with this area. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming along on my journey today. I hope that you enjoyed our video and that if you are stuck in the garden and you're just not quite sure what to do to button something up or how to make it flow together and be cohesive, but you don't want to rip out everything you have, hopefully the exercise of standing back, taking a look at what you have, what do you love? What don't you love? What are you missing? Do you have the 4 colors? Do you have things that bloom in and out of season? Do you have winter interest? Look at all of those items to help you figure out what you need to do to bring that cohesion into an area in your garden. We have some great videos coming up. We are going to be making wreaths out of fresh hydrangeas. We also have a video next week about layering in the garden. I think you guys will really enjoy that one. Don't forget, Garden Gab is the first Saturday of the month. And for those of you that are new, what is Garden Gab? It's where we answer questions from the previous videos that we just had. We also share viewer submission pictures of beautiful things in their gardens. So if you want in on the action, get your phone out, take a picture with your phone like this. send it to the email address right here. It's always in the description below. I want to know who you are. I want to know where you live, what zone you live in, and what are we looking at? One picture of something that you're absolutely excited about in your garden right now in the month of July. It's not too late to send those in. Oh, and PSS, for those of you that actually watch the video all the way to the end, if you have a garden that you're really proud of and you would like me to come and tour the garden with you and highlight it on my channel, and you live near me, like in Illinois, Wisconsin, Indiana, Iowa, I'm not going hours and hours and hours away. You got to be pretty close. I would love to come and meet you, and I would love to tour your garden. Drop me a line in an email or message me down below and we'll get in contact and set something up. So I'm Michelle. See you later.